Welcome back. You're still watching it tonight, and we're with the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury, John Mbadi, talking about e-government procurement, a new way of doing things when it comes to management of procurement in the government. Waziri, we had started to talk about what it is, why the resistance. I'm looking at the law that you referred us to. This is the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act. I'm reading Section 77, which members of Parliament have been talking about, submission and receipt of tenders. They say, submission of tender documents, whether in electronic or manual form, shall be in writing, signed, and in the case of manual submission, they shall be sealed in an envelope. That is the act. You're also referring us to the regulations, and regulations you're referring to, that was 64, which is talking about, let me just get it for the sake of reference, e-invoicing and e-documentation. The system envisaged in Section 64.
It's Regulation 49.
You say 49?
Yeah.
Okay, let's just bring it out, which is on what exactly it's saying. Forms of communication, electronic procurement, and asset disposal. So the National Treasury, when designing, that's what you referred to. A regulation versus the act, what takes precedence? Yeah,
so you have read the act selectively. You should have read Section 64 of the act first.
Yep.
Which speaks to the electronic system. And I want to be very clear here. I am not saying that manual system is illegal.
Yep.
That is why we have used manual system to date. But if you look at the Constitution, what does the Constitution speak to? The Constitution, Article 227, talks about procurement of public goods and services.
Yep.
So when a state organ or any other public entity contracts for goods or services, it shall do so in accordance with a system that is fair, equitable, transparent, competitive, and cost-effective.
Right.
So the system that we have, the manual system that we have today, does not meet the full context of this constitutional provision, which speaks to a more transparent system, a system that is competitive and cost-effective. And I would go on to explain how the manual system has flaws. But if you look at that Article 227.2, which I read, it prescribes or speaks to an act of parliament should be enacted to actualize or to give life to this constitutional provision. So as you read 70, which allows both systems, read 64, which simply talks about electronic system. And in that 64, it says that it talks about form of communication, electronic procurement, and asset disposal.
Yes.
And says under 2 that information and communication technologies may be used in procurement, and I'm not saying it is a must.
Yes.
It is not compulsory.
Yes.
That is why we have been using manual system to date.
Yes.
It is not compulsory. But what we are saying, if you want to realize the full text of the Constitution, come up with a system that is fair, transparent, accountable, and would lead to economy in use of public resources.
Right.
Now, it speaks to what should be done. It says, may be used in procuring and asset disposal proceeding as prescribed with respect to publication of notices, submission and opening of tenders, tender evaluation, requisition or requesting for information on the tender, disseminating laws, digital signatures, and as may be prescribed by regulations. So it means the Act of Parliament allowed prescription of regulation by the Cabinet Secretary. Yes. So what did the Cabinet Secretary do? In 2020, the Cabinet Secretary brought regulations to Parliament in fulfillment of this requirement of the Act. And in that regulation, and that is why I read 49, Regulation 49 talks about forms of communications, electronic procurement, and asset disposal. And it says that the National Treasury made, when designing and managing an efficient procurement management system, as envisaged under Section 7.2c of this regulation, and in accordance with Section 64.2 of the Act, shall ensure that the system is interfaced with the state portal. So now it is very definite and specific. Give step by step what we need to do. We must have a system that is interfaced with the state portal in respect of procurement planning, in respect of registration of suppliers, publication of notice, and it goes on and prescribes even invoicing generation. So what I'm saying is the government, the Parliament gave the executive through these regulations, which drives from the Act, the power to have an e-procurement system.
So let me ask you, when you look at the law and the regulations,
Yes.
is there an inconsistency that needs to be cured?
There is no inconsistency.
So if an entity does not onboard on the e-procurement system,
Yes.
what happens to them?
It will be regular. It is not illegal,
Yes.
but irregular. You know, I want us to also to understand that we have legalities and irregularities.
Yes.
Okay? And in accounting, irregularities is equally punishable as illegalities. Now, in this case, the government, and not just the government, actually the people of Kenya, because this law went through public participation. The regulations, we visited all the counties to collect the views. And the people of Kenya said, we want an electronic system to be employed in procurement of goods and services. A system that is fair, a system that is transparent, a system that is open. Now, that system, it is the responsibility of the executive to prescribe that system. And so long as that system conforms to the requirements of the regulations, then you are perfectly in order. And I will tell you that the system that we are putting in place conforms to exactly what is prescribed under Regulation 49 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Regulations of 2020.
So what makes the current, or rather the previous system, because now you cannot procure manually as it is, what makes the previous system to run afoul against the Article 227? What
Thank you. Thank you, Sam Gituku. Sam, I will again repeat, the Constitution speaks to a fair system, transparent, accountable, system that would result in cost effectiveness. Now, the current system, the system that we are moving away from, is largely manual. That is why this new system that we are employing is called end-to-end e-procurement system.
Right.
It starts from the budgeting to the payment stage. And so this is what this new system is all about. Once the budgets have been passed, if it is at the national level, it will be passed by the National Assembly. If it is at the county level, it will be passed by the county assemblies. For the National Assembly, for the national budget, it will be uploaded in IFMIS, which is also an electronic system run through Oracle. Okay? Once it is uploaded there, the rest of the procurement is manual. All right?
Yes.
Now, the counties also upload, but after their budgets have been approved or processed through the controller of budgets. And then it also goes to IFMIS system. Okay? Now, this is where the catch is. The new system deviates from the current system, whereas the current system has, from IFMIS, it is now manual. Now, what we are doing is, from IFMIS, we are uploading all the budgets into e-procurement platform.
Right.
Once it is uploaded, the next step kicks in. What is the next step? All procurement plans will be put in the EGP system. Once that is done, the next step kicks in. And the next step is what? Is now requisition or procuring, tendering, will also be done in the system. Once that is done, the tender evaluation will not be manual. The current system, my friend Sam, and Kenyans watching me, is where you put all those cartons of documents. And when it comes to evaluation, you know what sometimes happens? You have already put all your documents there, but because someone does not want you to win a tender, they will come and plaque KRA compliance certificate. Take it away. And in evaluation, they will say, well, you quoted the lowest, but because you did not put KRA compliance certificate, which is a requirement, you have lost the tender. And that is happening.
And you have no recourse.
You have no recourse, because where will you prove that you actually submitted KRA
but I thought the tender documents are opened when everyone is in attendance.
But Sam, everyone is in attendance. It is signed. But look at the documents, how big they are. Who goes through each and every item manually? Is it practical? So you will leave the document there thinking you have furnished everything. Now, the system will be different. You will be putting your bids in the system. Everybody will be seeing.
Yes.
There is no way you can say that so-and-so had attached this and that if they did not.
But there are still many. There will still be
no, but you see the system is very clear. If you don't get this, the system will just reject your bid. If you don't have certificate, instead of now waiting for someone to go and put the documents and check with a pen and a paper and wear glasses if they are not seeing properly, and I'm not saying you're not seeing properly, Sam. Here, the system is very clear. By the way, we are even suggesting that the system is put in a way that some documents that can be sourced from government departments like KRA certificate, compliance certificate, can easily be sourced through the system.
So are you saying if you are now uploading the set of documents in the portal, you know, ordinarily you would just put them and then you spiral bind. So how do you upload on the system? Is it KRA compliance certificate on its own? Is it whatever other document you name? Maybe.
You know, Sam, first of all, you know, I am a policy maker. As I want us to stick to that. I'm a policy maker. If you want the technical of how to simply key, then we can get the technical team. But what I want to tell you, and which I've been guaranteed on, is that all the information that will be required for tender will be uploaded in the system. And when you are uploading in the system, there are no room for cheating. And let me tell you this, Sam. The way the system is designed, is designed in a way that you cannot delete even a document. You cannot amend. If you go through the system and it reaches a point and you have made mistakes, if you, for example, you put, instead of putting quantity, you put the price, you'll have to reject the whole transaction and start afresh. Those are the safeguards. Those are the security features that we are putting here. And that is why many people are finding it discomforting.
But the evaluation of the tenders will still be done by human beings, isn't it?
But in the system.
In the system by people?
Yes.
So they can still say that we didn't see the compliance certificate of sorts?
No, but you see, Sam, I think you're not getting me. The system cannot remove anything. You cannot delete.
What I'm saying?
What I'm saying is this. Just listen to me. If I have put the compliance certificate in the tender document, there's no way you can delete it. So there's no way an evaluator can record that you have not put compliance certificate and it is there because the paper trail is leaving it there. Unlike a paper where you can plug and go away with, this system you cannot delete. So the person doing the evaluation will not have the luxury of deleting. So if he says, for example, during evaluation, that you did not attach KRA certificate, there's no way you will go to the system and remove it if some had put it. I hope you get me there.
I am getting you.
Yes.
The point I'm making, because it is still human beings that are going to make the evaluation. They may have a preferred supplier and say, this one qualified and the others didn't because of certain reasons. By the time you're going to appeal against such a decision, it will be too late, even if those documents that are being stated not to be there were there in the system in the first place. So how do you tighten that?
You see, Sam, maybe you are not getting me here. I am not, if you make such a mistake, the system will identify it. And it will be audited. And you will be asked questions. You know, if you do procurement and you manipulate tender even today, the manual system, you can be charged in court. You will be arrested. But you see, the system will make it easy. Because if you go to the, first of all, if you reject my bid and it is the lowest, you must give reasons during the evaluation. If the reason you give is that I did not touch such and such or NCA certificate or whatever it is, and it is in the system because you have no way of removing it. Once I put in my NCA certificate, whether it is grade 1, 2, 3, or 4, it will remain there. So if you say that my certificate is grade 6 and you needed grade 3, the system will not allow you because it is there and everybody will see it. And that is why we want this system, because there is no way that it can be manipulated by deleting, by amending. It will remain there. Anyone who is following up, any auditor coming after you, any PPRA reviewing the procurement will tell you, my friend, here, you are not telling us the truth. Why are you awarding this thing to Gituku and not John Badi? Yet John Badi had fulfilled all the requirements.
Fair enough, as you say that. But then again, there's that question because Parliament says that they have annulled the circular from the Treasury. And you're saying that they have already passed the regulations. So what effect does that decision by Parliament have on you?
So first of all, you know, I have been thank you very much. You know, I've been a member of Parliament for 17 years. And Parliament cannot legislate in vain. Actually, Parliament should have, through the implementation committee summoned the CS National Treasury to ask them why they have not implemented e-procurement. Because they had passed regulations. In 2020, we are in the 5th year from 2020. In 2022, we procured a system, spent $2.9 million US. This system was procured in 2022, has not been actualized or implemented to date. Last year when I came into office, Sam, the first thing I did was to provide money for the training and all that for the system to work. This money that we spent was approved by Parliament. Parliament approved 565 million shillings for us to actualize e-procurement. When I read my budget speech this year, 12th of June, I mentioned that one of the reforms is that from July 1st, we are rolling out e-procurement. If you can go to the clip where I was reading my speech, you will see the whole house clapped for me. There was foot thumping because they wanted e-procurement. Now, why would anyone wake up today? And so to me, you see, we didn't make any proposal to Parliament for implementation because there was nothing really for Parliament. Parliament had already approved. There is the regulations. It is superior to a motion. I have been in Parliament and I know. So Parliament passing a motion
of a circular is inconsequential.
To me, it is inconsequential. I don't even understand what Parliament did. And I have been a legislator and I'm telling you, 17 years is not a short period of time, Sam. By the way, those who were born when I got into Parliament, I left when they were almost reaching the voting age. I have been in Parliament for long. So I know very well that once you have passed a law, you cannot annul that law through a motion. And you can only amend the law.
And knowing what the governors are saying, that they want you to go back to the manual system, failing which they will go to court, and they have a level of independence as counties, what do you tell them?
You see, Sam, first of all, I would not understand why any governor would oppose e-procurement system. First, it is helping them if they are interested in prudent use of public resources. These same governors are the ones who are complaining that we are not releasing enough resources to counties, and I agree with them that we probably need to do more. But the little that they have must be used prudently for provision of service to the people of Kenya. And so when a governor says they don't want, in fact, what I would have heard from governors is how can the Treasury make the system work quickly? And that is what we are working. We are working overnight. And I've told my team over the weekend, no weekend for them, to make sure that all the budgets that have been processed through the controller of budget and have come to the IFMIS system must be uploaded so that the counties can put their procurement plan and start procuring. We should instead move to this system quickly as opposed to fighting it. Unless people have vested personal interest, which I know is many, is a lot.
What would that look like?
Of course, you know the manual system is manipulable, and many people would still want to manipulate. You see, Sam, this country has reached a point where if you don't know who knows who, you cannot get tender in government, whether it is at the national government level or the county government level, because the systems can easily be manipulated. And we are saying we must do something about it. We cannot keep on complaining when we are put in positions. When I was being vetted by members of the National Assembly, one of the things that I committed myself to is to make sure that when I get into office to implement e-procurement system, to save us from the wastages. We have a fiscal space that has shrunk. We are spending 48% of our resources in servicing our debts. We have no latitude to borrow anyhow. We cannot increase taxes anymore because Kenyans are complaining. So revenue mobilization is not is a no-go zone in terms of increasing tax rates. Now, where do we go to? We must go to expenditure rationalization. And one way of rationalizing expenditure is to come up with a system that is open, transparent, verifiable, accountable, and a system that would lead to cost effectiveness in use of public resources.
All right, Waziri, we'll get back to that because I'm sure you have heard that the system that is being used to manage
Yes.
has been there has been an interference of people cheating the system. What safeguards are there to ensure that the e-government procurement system, you don't find such kind of quite mischievous people in the country? How do you safeguard that? And as well as talking about what else, you look at the cost of 565 million shillings, is that enough? And also, how do you make sure that everyone is on board, and including those people that may not be as tech savvy as everyone else in accessing the system? We talk about that after the break. Stay tuned.